All right, now let's jump right into the IT agents. We're going to talk about the installation process. We're going to talk about the regular install, which is kind of like the next. And then we're going to do a silent install as well. So we're going to have a couple different ways we can install Lansweeper, the IT agent, into your environment. So before we get started here, let me just demonstrate and point out to you, we do have this KB article. I know we've already talked about this, install IT agent discovery. That's got a lot of really good information on here. We've referenced a bunch of this already, but this is a great place to kind of start. If I scroll down here just a little ways on how to install it, where do you get the installers from, and so forth. It's just going to explain all these things as we go through this. But I'm going to walk through this with you as well. And so we're not going to depend on that. Let me, on the article alone, we're going to jump right into my lab and let me get here in my lab. All right. So here inside of my lab, I've just got this server that has been spun up. This is our network discovery. We've been talking about this. I've been going to be using this quite a bit. You can see I already have assets that are listed here. If I go into discovery menu item and go down to systems, you can see I also have 3 agents already. Agent 1, 2, and up on top here, I've got 3. And you can see too the different types of installations. I got the sensors, a couple different IT sensors, OT sensor, and a couple different installs. We've gone through this, but I need to add another IT sensor installed here. So, excuse me, an IT agent installed here. So I'm going to go up to the download installers and packages and come in here to the IT agent discovery tab. And you can see here we've got a lot of options. If I scroll off here to the side, we have got the executable version, and we also have an MSI version. We also have a configuration file as well. That configuration file is going to be used with the MSI version. So EXE version, which we're going to be using in a minute, is really intended for executable, just to double click that and make it go. The MSI is going to be more for, though you can double click that and make that go too. The MSI files are really designed to be used with a configuration file. So we'll configure that configuration file with all the proper permissions and unique keys and identifiers to get that to get IT agent to automatically sync up to the correct site. All that is configured inside the configuration file. We'll discuss that. And then we have all these other down beneath. So let me grab this IT agent installer here, get this downloaded onto my server. Let me go into my downloads and capture that. And I'm just going to double click to run this. I'm going to shrink down my, whoops, here we go. Yes. Let me shrink this down so it kind of gets it out of the way. Kind of get some of that noise off the screen. And go through this process. Again, this is typically pretty simple. Let's see what we have. So next, do we agree to the EULA terms of use? And we can change the directory if you wanted to change this directory. And it's going to immediately ask me for where I want to actually sync this. So I need to put in the proper site in order to do this. And it's telling me here even where I can do this. So I'm going to discovery, scanning, and it's telling me to do this. We're already very close to that here. So inside of discovery, into my systems, and up in the upper right corner, I can say link discovery system. This one we worked on yesterday, so I'm just going to delete that one because it's no longer needed. And I'm going to generate a new code. Sure, this will be good for letting it run for one day. And as you can see, I've got this big long code. Copying a code is, you can just simply click the copy code here, but just realize this unique code is to link to your site. So if you decide to copy my code here and use it off in your site, you're going to have, well, for one, it's going to expire, but second of all, it would actually put your assets into my environment. So I just want to point out that is a unique identifier, and it basically gives permission, you might say, for the install to install into your network, or into your installation. Let's see. Let me paste that here. Hit next. That should authenticate. It's ready to set up. I'm going to hit next and let that go through the installation process. Once this finishes, we're going to jump back into Lansweeper, into the platform in the cloud, and we got to make some changes there and move things around. It's kind of up to you on how you want to configure this, as you'll see. But in order to make sure that you can configure all the discovery actions and so forth, something to keep in mind. So IT agent is there and running, but ultimately what you need to do is configure the IT agent in order to do the discovery process. And so just because the agent is there does not mean it's automatically running. So you need to tell Lansweeper when you want those agents to do their discovering, 1 time a day, 2 times a day, whatever it is you might want. So let's go ahead and let this finish, and then we'll check back in here when it's done. Okay, this installation is completed, and it's asking me if I want to go and automatically log in to my app.lansweeper.com account there. I don't want to because I'm already opening it down here. So I'm just going to say finish. And as you can see, there's nothing on the desktop to indicate. With the network discovery, you had the little network discovery icon. There's no configuration that needs to be done other than that install and that linking code. So I'm going to come up here now. Great. And next, I need to go into my groups in order to manage my groups. So what's happening next now is that connection, that asset has now been brought into Lansweeper. And if I was to go into my list of assets, let's do this before we actually do this. And let me find the name of that asset. I wonder if I can just see it here on top. Let me see if it shows up right away. So I just click on this filter here and it shows up, of course. Okay, let's do this. And I believe it had the name TN Agent 4. There it is on the bottom of the list. So I can select that and I can bring this in, and it's already is bringing information in about this particular asset. So what I want to do though is make sure I'm scheduling the proper scans. And so you can see I can tell it to scan now or to resync itself. And there's some things I could do with this, but I want to configure this to automatically do its scans every day at a specific schedule. So I'm going to come down into my groups, and I do have a default IT agent group. If I select this default IT agent group, and we can see the assigned systems, you can see my IT agent 4 that we just installed is listed here just a few minutes ago. So that's great. It's in the system, but maybe instead of being a part of the default group, you want to segment out your groups of the IT agents. So maybe you want a server group and a workstation group, or maybe a Ohio group and an Oregon group and a California group. I don't know. It's totally up to you how you want to do this. Of course, the more groups you have, the more you have to manage. But just to be aware that if I go back out here one window, you can see I've created another IT agent group for my sales department for laptops. And so you can create these different groups, move things in and out. So you can see here that my department does not have any. So let's just assume for a moment that this new agent is part of my laptop group. Or excuse me, the others are part of it. I want to create a new group here for this for our demonstration. So I'm going to come into my sales laptop group, and you know what? Some of these assets that are supposed to be part of the sales team is supposed to be, let's just pretend, 1 and 2. I can do that. I've selected them in there, hit save. They get moved over. And now when I look back at my groups, I can see my department has got 2 systems in it, and my default group now has got also 2 systems in it. So I want to create a new group. Let's just call this server, the server, server agents. Let's just call it that. So I'm going to create a new group, and this is an IT agent group. And let's call this the server IT agents. And it doesn't even have the word IT agents. You can put whatever you like. So here you can see we can enable automatic updates, which I want to keep that enabled to make sure that agent stays up to date. Since these are on servers, maybe you don't want to do that. It's totally up to you how you want to do this, but that would also mean that it could become out of date. I really strongly recommend you keep this up to date. Typically, historically, we don't see servers having to, or workstations having to reboot with IT agent updates. That agent will remove the old version, put the new version on without any issues. And so typically there are no updates or reboots that have ever been required. So it's kind of up to you whether you want to do this or not. But if you want to play with caution, just take that checkbox off there and you wouldn't have to schedule any updates. You can schedule these updates here based on the days and times. And so, you know what, maybe in case this machine needs to be rebooted, or in case something happens, or I don't want changes in the week, maybe you just want this to be done on Saturday. Sure. I'm going to do Saturday at a certain time. And now this update's going to happen at that time. Which systems do I want this to apply to? Well, right now I just have my one agent. With that, I'm going to hit create. And now I have a new group. I'm going to come out here and you can see a new server IT agent group that is now been created. Now, the challenge around this is going to be if I add another, in just a moment, we're going to add another server into this with our agent number 5. And it's going to be done through the portable. And that is going to be added into, by default, the default IT agent group. So to maintain this, that means any new agents I get, I'm going to have to come in here and move them into the appropriate group. That's why you may want to only use the default groups that are listed here, just because it takes out a little bit of that manual labor. You can also, let's just throw this little thing in there. You can use Flow Builder as well to capture that information and move them around. That's for different training, but that is also available as well. So now that this has been added, my agent's been added a part of this group, I need to create an action. Now, to emphasize again, this scheduling day and time is only for updates. This is not to run and do a scan of that particular asset. So I need to come into an action, and let's see, I want to create a new action maybe just for those, because I don't see an action here that I could, hey, here's an agent action already that somebody has created. My sales department laptop scans from our sales department. Let's create one for the laptop, the agents that are on servers. So I'm going to create a new action, agent based. And let's just call this server. Oh, make that go away. Here we go. Servers with agents. And we can create this trigger. So which trigger? What time do you want this to run? Do you want it recurring every so many hours and so forth? Let's have some fun with this, since we have worked with some configuration items earlier that talked about, using an instant. Let's look at the reoccurring. So let's look at, let's name this trigger. It is not necessary to name it, but let's name this. Let's do this every 4-hour server scan. And we're going to make this run every 4 hours. You can see here that this trigger will run every 4 hours continuously. So it's going to re-trigger every 4 hours and be ran again. This is going to keep this server information very active and alive in here. So let's hit create. You can see this new one is listed. And now we also need to assign the correct group. We have that server IT agent group. Let's add that in here and let's create our action. And with that, it has been created. And now we have these new actions out here. Servers with agents right here has been listed, and I can go off to the right here and we can initiate this scan immediately. I'm going to click that and make that go. And that agent now is going to be running every 4 hours. That's going to be kicking off and scanning. Let's look now at the portable side, and what does it take to configure a portable configuration file and do something very similar. We're going to see that new server that we do with the portable version show up in the default. And do we configure that? Do we leave it in default? We'll see what we do on that video. We'll see you on the next one.